Hello and welcome to Scarworld Season 2, Episode 7. Today we are going to hop right into working on the creative area, the Cursed Lands, and try to get the kind of motif template designed, get that out there, and hopefully bring a little bit of life to the vision that I've had in my head about what the Cursed Lands is going to be like, and give you guys a little bit more of an example of what it's going to be. Now, we've seen the mycelium and we've seen the little ruins that I built last episode, but that's just the start. So let's get a house and the pathing kind of worked on for today and set the mood and get to it. So I'm gonna grab a couple more things here, a little more resources, and then I'll head over there and meet you guys then. I think what I need to do is, I guess, tell a little bit different story. The Blackstone is more of what I want to build with because it's supposed to be a dark area. And it should feel more like the stone has, I don't know how to word it. Not so much that the stone has become evil, but that the area has been inflicted with darkness, and so things have kind of become darker. So I kind of wanted to start a new house, a prototype house, which I'll go back and kind of crack up later. And we can use darker texture woods, and we can still incorporate some fading into it. I also think I'm going to bring my beacon here so that I can jump, because the only being able to jump one high is kind of a pain. You really get used to having that jump boost. I think I'm liking this a little bit better. This building doesn't have to be symmetrical either. Right, the entrance doesn't have to be centered. And it would be reasonable to think that they would have a hearth of some sort, so we can have irregular shapes. Although I don't think a commoner's house would have that big of a hearth. But I'm already liking this better. And I'm sure I can work some polished Blackstone into the mix as well. I don't know how much I want to build a coherent story, as much as just this is the end result of a place that has suffered. And there would probably be like side rooms. Of course, I'll need a something like this. And again, we'll vary the wood a little bit as well. We'll do a post. Post build, you know, diversification of the textures. So this is actually looking pretty good. And I don't imagine they would have a, again, it's just, this is actually probably larger than what I would expect like a commoner's house would be. So I might shrink down the final product. Yeah, see, that might work. I'll keep playing with it. But I think I think we're on to kind of what I want to make this land like. And I think here shortly I'm going to go ahead and get the beacon moved. I mean, I don't have to move the iron. Obviously, I have plenty of blocks. I just need to build a beacon here and leave the old beacon in the previous place. You know, maybe we could incorporate this. As such. You know, with a roof over it, kind of showing like an area has been affected. I don't know. This might work as well. And in fact, I don't feel like that needs the vines quite as much. Though I'm sure the vines... No, so that's too much. Yeah, the vines work on the other side, where they're just in the wall, but when we're creating a region that has been changed, I feel like it's distracting. Okay, so there's some possibilities here. And we can mix all the wood types. But I think we want to say predominantly with the darker as the primary for the superstructure. All right, I think I'm gonna go get the beacons and work some more on fleshing out the first building. Because once I have a building that I like, and this one's coming along pretty nicely, like I said, I might shrink it down a little bit. This seems a little bit generous for a kind of a peasant home. Then I can maybe do a couple of trees, kind of prototype trees for how it's going to look. And kind of set the mood. Let's pause real quickly because I just cannot go without my jump boost any longer. I must have my beacon back. I want my beacon back, beacon back, beacon back, beacon back. I want my beacon back, beacon back, beacon back, beacon back. Alright, I am beaconified. This actually is a full-size beacon. I partially buried it under the ground because I didn't want it taking up too much of the land. And I grabbed some nether brick just to test this out. Look at this. I can jump up to two spaces. Makes me excited. So the hearth would definitely look better like this, I think. And I cooked up just a few cracked bricks just to kind of see how they look. We'll go industrial scale if necessary later on. Now, I don't intend to do red nether brick because I want it to be these darker tones, less vibrant. I really like red nether brick, but it wouldn't fit with this. But I think that this works all right. And I haven't downscaled the house yet. All I really did was go and get the beacon. And I may or may not just downscale. I could probably bring it in one. Yeah, bring this whole wall in one, maybe. Or make the hearth deeper. I don't think that's right, though. No, that's way too large. Deciding whether or not to keep that diagonal wall. It didn't look too bad. And I can set flame here, maybe. I mean, if the place isn't currently being lived in, there probably shouldn't be fire. But maybe a spooky soul flame here and there would imply that something else is staying here at times. And I'd like to put like a broken down bed in here, but I'm not really sure how I'd go about building a broken bed. That might not be a thing. Not without significant armor stand shenanigans, which I'm not going to do for a bed. Yeah, let me think about that. But this could be like a bedroom, the hearth, and a table here for kitchen stuff, you know, cooking. Put a cauldron here. Make it obvious that this is what the place was. Or maybe even a cauldron in the hearth. And by that argument, if we did cauldron in a hearth, it probably should only be one wide. Maybe. If I make that one wide, I can bring this all in by one. There doesn't necessarily have to be windows on every wall as well. Well, so it would, you know, when you think of like medieval houses where they're cooking in a cauldron of some sort, you know, stewing pot, it's hanging on something. So maybe I'd do something like that, start a fire underneath it, and put a chain hanging down. So let's look first. Oh, not what I intended. And what we imagine flame under here. So that's actually okay, but I'm wondering, do we, I originally said that it was too large of a hearth, but if we're doing a feature like that, maybe we do expand it. And center this. Right, because we can... This actually I think is going to work better. Could do something like that. And this is just a generic roof. Put something else over it. Yeah, that's feeling better. Yeah. Alright, we're going to stick with this. I still need to shrink the building. All right. Well, I think this is about all the time we have for today. I'm cutting it a bit close, and I wanted to give you a little bit of a tour of what's been done with the house. So the interior is more or less done. It might have some evolution left in it, but I think I'm pretty happy with it, because keep in mind, this is not a house that's being lived in anymore. It shouldn't have a bunch of fancy stuff in it, and it should be in disrepair. The fact that there is a spooky blue fire burning in the place is anyone's guess as what's going on there. Now, the interior roof I brought down a little bit, and I'm really happy with the way it came out with the support. And I just kind of packed some things in here, a little basic table, chair, some knocked over chairs. The bedroom I'm not excited about. These are supposed to be a couple of bed rolls. I'm still working on it. I'm sure I'll come up with something better. It's kind of hard to decorate while trying not to decorate, if you know what I mean, because this place isn't supposed to be inhabited anymore. So I'll still think about it. I'm sure there's some improvements, and suggestions are certainly welcome. So the yard, I'm fairly happy with where it's going. I mixed in some of the blue warp nylium, whatever thingamajiggies it's called, and I think it goes wonderfully with the mycelium, so I'm very pleased with that. I put some breaks in the walls. It's kind of hard to indicate that it's a break in the wall because the walls always end with a post. You can't just dead end the wall. Not that I know of, at least. If someone knows a way, let me know, because I'd like to get rid of the posts and have the wall just kind of dead end. But I varied up the ground. I had to break up the mycelium, and I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. Put in some wild plants, the watermelons and pumpkins, and some weeds growing, and some dead bushes, some rocks laying around. Using coal ore for kind of broke up or dirty, I guess, stone. So this is something I've used in some situations in the past, and I was always happy with it, and I think it came out pretty good here. And of course, I got some overgrowth of mossy, some bushes, some dead fans. The forest is a work in progress. I'm not excited about this. I have some other things I kind of want to do, and I've messed around with it. It just hasn't quite come out right yet. So it's something I'll go back to the drawing board and come up with a better solution. But I want this kind of density. So for now, I just planted a bunch of these to get the forest blocking the vision kind of wall feel. So for now, it's kind of a placeholder. And the rest of the yard is just kind of more of the kind of breaking up the patterns and whatnot. A couple of very dead trees. This one has no leaves on it anymore. This one has a few leaves left on it, but they're not going to be around much longer, and I got the wood is dying and petrifying. So I'm happy with that. I also worked on the road in front of the house. This is going to be the main trail. Yeah, I kind of envision this being, carts drawn by horses would have come down this a lot, and probably still do from time to time. The place isn't going to be completely lifeless, but it's going to be well on its way. And so I kind of imagine this being the ruts. I threw up some simple lanterns. I went with a little bit more fancy at first, but the point was that it was just kind of too fancy. It's supposed to be a not well-funded place. So simple sometimes is better. I did put a pickle under the water sources here, so that when we do have night, we get a kind of an eerie glow without it being... Sorry, I don't think I put one in that one. I kind of, you know, the water can give us a little eerie glow without being bright. And I think that this worked out well here. So I'm pleased with that. I might put a little bit more water spread. We'll see. But I think that's really it for the progress. I'm real pleased with the way this has come along. You know, this is a start to the Cursed Lands. We have a house. There might be some changes made to it, but for the most part, that's going to be it. Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to record an outro. Oh, hello. I really appreciate this. Back off, sir. Wow. The spider was enchanted with haste. Okay. That was interesting. All right. As you can see, I've been using the area for farms. This is my spruce and podzol farm. Oh no! Oh no, I had my interface turned off. I didn't know it was hurt. Oh man. Okay. Oh, well, that was like 70 or 80 levels. Oh, and I had no armor on either because I was doing the third person thing. All right, lesson learned. So, let's, all right. I won't do that again. Well, I say I won't do that again, but we'll see. Okay, let's wrap this up before I get myself killed again. Thank you very much for joining me on this, and I hope you guys like what is going on here, and I encourage feedback. There's going to be a lot of work done to this area still. It's not pre-built in a creative world. There's room for this to change and evolve. So feedback, great. But if you like it, awesome. You know, let me know. Thank you very much. And next episode may be in here. It might be back in the industrial base area. I'm kind of going to bounce back and forth. So we'll see. We'll see. But thank you very much for watching. And I hope that you enjoyed it and that we see you on the next episode.